Story 1, Can't fit my bicycle in the luggage hold. A few months ago I booked a return ticket to a nearby town over a busy holiday weekend. I wanted to do a little cycling over the weekend, so I phoned the bus company before the day of departure to check if I could take a bicycle with me. They confirmed that I could so long as I arrived at the bus station half an hour early. On the trip down they loaded my bicycle into the baggage hold, even opening up a special side hatch to make it easier to get it in. So I enjoyed a few bike rides while I was down there. Come the day of my return and it's belting rain. I get to the bus station half an hour early but sopping wet. Considerate as I am, I purchase some paper towels to wipe down my bike so it won't dampen anyone else's luggage. Then the bus arrives. I go straight over to the baggage loading area and ask the guy if I can put my bike in. He replies, "No." Do I need to wait? No, he's just not going to let my bike on at all, so I spend a quarter of an hour arguing with the guy, as the clock ticks towards departure time. I tell him the bus company has already confirmed I could bring my bike, but that does not move him. He keeps telling me there's no space in the hold, even though I can see there's space in the hold. Now this is a Sunday and I have work the next day. And it's the end of a holiday weekend, so I might not be able to get a seat on another bus, even if they refund me my money. And nobody's talking about a refund. Finally, departure time has arrived. I yell out, "Well, head office said I could take it on the bus, so I'm taking it on the bus," and I hoik my bicycle in the air and step up into the passenger section of the bus and start making my way to my seat. Now, my seat was booked for the upper deck, so I also have to hoik my bike up the narrow spiral staircase to the upper deck, which I do. My bicycle is XL size, so, all things considered, I'm astonished how limited and shallow the scratches were that I left on the plastic finishes of the spiral staircase as I went up. Amazingly, no one made any move to stop me, and the passengers on the upper deck all came onto my side, helping me to secure the bicycle and making no complaint about having to squeeze past it, even though it almost entirely blocked the corridor. Every now and then the conductor would come up to check our tickets, see the bicycle blocking the way, and turn away. Defeated. Every time he did so, I made sure to say loudly to my fellow passengers, "I dunno, to me it would have made more sense to put it in the hold, but it's their bus, they make the rules." And the other passengers would agree with me. The bike and I got home safely. Story 2, You want the man of the house? Fine, this is one going back a few years, but it's one that made me chuckle when I remembered it. As we live in a busy estate, we are in a prime position for door-to-door callers. Usually they were fine, polite, and if I was happy to listen to their pitch then great, and if not, they were pretty good about hearing no and leaving me be. In our house, all the utility bills are in my name because I am the financial person in the household, and by mutual agreement, the one who knows how many beans make 5 when it comes to deals and offers. Therefore, I decide our provider each year and negotiate the best offers. I know the exact date we come out if contract and am generally organized in swapping suppliers. Sometimes I do this with the D2D salesperson and other times online or via phone. It just so happened one year that we had a D2D salesperson knock in for a utility that was pretty close to its contract end date. He immediately started his pitch with, "Good afternoon, is the man of the house there?" Now, straight away that rubbed me up the wrong way. I answered no, and he proceeded to ask me when he would be home. I mentioned that he was at work, but he was welcome to call back after 5 p.m. when the man of the house would be home. The salesperson wrote this down in his book, nodded at me and left. Sure enough, he called back after 5 p.m. and spoke to the very irritated man of the house, who asked the salesperson why he didn't speak to me about all this. The salesperson backpedaled so quickly and asked if I was there. Sadly, I was out and wouldn't be back until late, but he was welcome to call over again tomorrow and see if I would speak to him. As it so happens, I did speak to him the next morning. With a beaming smile and a smug of tea in my hand, I thanked him for reminding me to check my offers, and I half switched online to his company a couple of hours before he arrived. Then I waved him a cheery goodbye. I believe that would have cost him 2 sales, as I switched gas and electricity. Story 3, the shark landlord got more than he bargained for. Years ago, I moved into a new apartment while studying abroad. The landlord was, well, let's just say he was a real shark. The guy had a dozen properties rented out to students and a reputation for squeezing every last penny out of his tenants. By coincidence, I ended up dating a fellow student who happened to rent from him in the next building over, and who moved out 6 months in, so I had advance warning of what to expect on move-out day. When she moved out, she had broken a single plate and lost a fork. So somehow got charged for an entire new matching set of plates and cutlery. She even replaced the plate and fork herself, but that wasn't good enough for Mr. Shark Lord. No, he insisted on billing her for a full brand new set. Of course, she learned later from her ex-flatmate that he only replaced the missing items and pocketed the difference. Imagine the profit accumulating over the years over a dozen apartments, when for every student you charge the price of a new set, but actually only buy one replacement set for one fork here, one glass there, pocketing the difference. Not just shady, but utterly petty. Now, when myself and my best friend had moved in, landlord proudly tells us about the brand new mattresses in our rooms. A year later, when my friend was moving out, we did a massive deep clean, left the place sparkling, and made sure to replace anything missing. But of course, during the inspection, the landlord found issues. Surprise, surprise, he deducted and withheld my friend's entire deposit, mostly on the basis of the mattress being slightly stained and needing replacement. My friend was understandably fuming. But then we had a thought. If he was charging us for a new mattress, then my friend had technically just paid for this one. So, technically, it was his. And, equally technically, it just wouldn't be considerate to leave personal belongings cluttering up the landlord's apartment after he moved out, would it? Moving out means moving out. He couldn't take the mattress on the plane, obviously, so we hauled it down to a nearby park, where some local homeless people hung out and donated it. Fast forward a few days, I'm still in the apartment and about to move out shortly. My friend's already gone, and I hear the landlord arrive to show the room to a new tenant. I hear the bedroom door and then rage. Where the F is the mattress? I have to F buy a new one. I almost lost it right there. But I held my composure, played dumb, and listening to him fume, and a few days later, when it was my turn to leave, oh, I knew I was getting nothing back from my deposit. And I too was going to take all of my personal belongings with me. So I took everything I had paid for, the mattress, plates, cutlery, glasses, even the light bulbs. The friendly neighborhood hobos made out like kings. Story 4, do not interrupt when I'm talking. This was a few years back. After over a decade of doing a complex job, above average, getting many compliments/letters of thanks, my new boss was irritated at me interrupting. My role was everything the technical people didn't do: trash duty/phones/conference room/calendars/finance/training/facilities/purchasing/equipment, etc. It was realistic to say that a couple times a day some wildfires, often technical work stoppages, needed the boss input. This, even after I headed off many problems before they reached his attention. About a couple weeks in, he told me that under no circumstance was I to interrupt any conversations he was in, and like a good little bootlicker, the second in charge added that he too was tired of my interruptions too and needed to stop. As karma would have it, not even a day later, both of them were deep into a conversation about baseball, absolutely nothing to do with work, and normally I would have interrupted. They both saw me multiple times and didn't ask what I needed. I waited patiently with pleading eyes, while they stretched out their conversation. After a few minutes, I started shifting foot to foot, probably looked like I needed to use the bathroom, and yet they didn't stop. Finally, when they soaked up all the fun they could and ran out of baseball's things to say, the boss in a very snarky tone asks if there is something I needed him for. Yes, sir. Your boss's boss, Mr. Nameless here, is waiting on the phone. I could see the blinking phone line from where I was standing. And he was indeed still waiting, and he needs to speak to you right now. not one smirk or iota of disrespect from me, but I did leave to use the bathroom even though I didn't need it. Policy cancelled right after that call. LOL. Story 5, sick leave needs a note. Just read a post about sick leave policy backfiring and wanted to post my own story about it. Old work friend, we will call him Jesse, is a retired US Marine. Guamanian, chill as hell, and unfuckwithable. He was the coolest guys you'd ever meet, personable and worked hard. Can't say enough good things about him. Jesse, being older, was looking at retirement. Between the corp and his civvy job he was done doing a 9 to 5. He was beginning to have health issues, and had frequent doctor's appointments. Right around the holidays, everyone wants to take leave, and we have a 50% staffing policy pretty much across the board at work. No more than half of our shop can be off at the same time. So it gets pretty cutthroat around Thanksgiving and Christmas. Everyone wants to flounce out for the holidays. New boss wants to be the personal savior of everything company. Tells everyone that we are gonna do a 75% staff instead, and proceeds to shut down all of our leave slips. Everyone getting sick, boss gets mad and demands doctor's notes for all sick days. Appointments, anything outside of work, well, we all have pretty good insurance, so a $25 copay is now a day off bounty, and there is pretty much a mutiny in the shop over this asshat's continuous stream of stupid policy. This hits Jesse especially hard. He's got a host of shit breaking down in his old body. After about the 6th or 7th time the new boss verbally dresses down Jesse for taking excessive sick time, he snaps. You want notes? You got 'em. He went through the union contract and discovered that documentation doesn't have to be from an actual doctor. Need a day because you felt sick? All you need per the union contract is a receipt for a bottle of Tylenol. Dentist appointment? The reminder note for your next appointment. The crown jewel of the shenanigans was his colonoscopy. Jesse got the proctologist to screenshot a picture of the inside of his colon, and used it as his note. He retired a champion. Place isn't the same without him. Story 6, very compliant. Okay, here's a small but extremely satisfying one. I needed some t-shirt screen printed for a little horsey summer camp I ran. Logo, summer camp, and camper's name or for staff, their role, lunger, coach, etc. Went to a big chain store that offers this. I've used them multiple times before and they are great and usually about €10 per shirt, with logo, name, etc. and get it done while I browse the store. For some reason I went to get the ticket/estimate and it's quoted at €32 per shirt, just for screen print. I'd bought the shirts already, so I ask for a price breakdown, $10 for the logo, $10 for one line text, name or role, $10 for another line of text, __________ summer camp 2024, $2 to do it right away, no other orders are in attente/queue. I say whoa, pull up the company site and say I would like this service, where we design the shirts and then one logo is printed that includes names and camp name and line logo. This is all one color, minimalist line logo, and it's this listed price, like we usually do, and the employee wasn't having it. I can absolutely respect that, let's go by the book, to the letter, so I said no thank you, went on to Instagram, pulled up like I was making a story and put the logo, name/role and the summer camp name and then saved it like an image. Vectorized it on my phone's little photo editing and saved, did that for each camper plus the coach and the lunger. Sent all the images to the store's workshop email. So one logo, which includes text as part of the logo but the file is technically a vector picture/image, for each person, and what do you know, it's actually only €8 for a picture only and non-urgent print. And all this time I'd been paying 10. My satisfaction was palpable, as I stated, okay, I want this logo on this size shirt, this logo for that shirt, etc., and no, I don't want it rushed. Oh, I'm the next order in the queue? Perfect. Compliance, or being a stickler, saved me money and felt really good.